is Andrew Michael, and welcome to this week's Power Rangers Beast Morphers Season 2, Episode 2 review. And in today's review, we are going to be going over what happened in today's Power Rangers episode. And so before we get started with that review, I want to know from you guys, what did you think of today's episode? If you are new and you want to see more Power Rangers / Super Sentai content, then make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a single video. Now with that being said, let's get into today's Power Rangers review. Alright, so now let's get into the episode. So, we start off at the Riptide Gym where Blaze is training his karate students. And if you don't know, Blaze does teach karate. He did back in Season 1, and now we're seeing more of his personality. Then we hear Ravi talking about Roxy and her new job at Collins Industry, and this will play into the whole episode today. The industry says there's a lot of trash at the beach because of a shipping accident. The Rangers go head off and they go find a sea turtle in bad shape, and so then they go to Coral Harbor Marine Center and they basically say they can take care of all the sea animals that are injured by all of the trash that's there, but they're gonna need some money, and this is also where Collins Industry comes in. Back in the cyber dimension, Evox is testing out some new data. Oh, I wonder what that could be. And then we see the preview clip that you saw earlier this week where we saw Roxy and Blaze and Zoe all at Collins Industry trying to tell the CEO that they need some money so that a way the Marine Center can go take care of these animals that were affected by these trash. The CEO says, no, we're not doing that, and so Roxy then authorizes the payment behind the CEO's back, and then before that, they get caged up by the monster of the week, and this is where we go to the break. And so the Gigatron is into caging things like we see, and then the Rangers go morph up and take on. Before we see this, Scrozzle then has this little scanner kind of thing, and he scans Roxy and Blaze, the good guys, and so what this seems like they're doing is they're making a good version of Blaze and Roxy being like one scene, but in the other scene we're seeing evil Blaze and Roxy, so I'm glad that they're keeping the human side of Blaze and Roxy, but they're also now creating this evil version of Blaze and Roxy like we saw last season. And I said this earlier, but I really hope we get like some kind of meetup where we see the good guys of Roxy and Blaze take on the evil Roxy and Blaze later on in the season. We see the Rangers fighting the Tronics of the week, which is the cage guy. And so Ravi then splits off and goes try to take down the cage that Roxy and Blaze are trapped in, and he eventually frees them. And so the Rangers slash through all the cages, and then Devin uses the Beast X slash to take down the Gigatron for the week. And now we see Roxy and Blaze get copied into evil avatars, except now what we see is that if they get destroyed, they can come back. So I do like the fact that they talked about this. Let's say if Roxy and Blaze were to get defeated with the monster of the week, they have a copy, so now next episode we're going to see more evil Roxy and Blaze, and they can eventually keep making copies of this, kind of like a printer, you know, you have copies of it and you keep going until you eventually delete the original copy, and once you do that, you can't make any more copies. And so, we see Roxy admitting to the CEO that she was the one that donated millions of money from Collins Industries so that way they can go see this Turtles. Regina is like, well, why would you do that? I mean, I don't understand why you would do that behind your back. And then Regina sees what's happening to the Turtles, including one who's close to dying. And so Regina finally says, okay, I'm on board with the Rangers. Let's go try to save these animals. And so we see a lot more human out of this. We see a little bit more human, I guess, because we see obviously Zoe. She's the one that usually cares about the environment, but it's nice to see Roxy outside of, you know, being this person that loves Ravi and whatnot, also having a life outside of that. And also, you know, being able to take care of the planet. So I like the fact that they're doing this thing where Zoe and Roxy now are like the two best friends who are like trying to save the planet. And I like this dynamic. And it's really showing that even in every episode, it shows that Zoe's whole thing about trying to save the planet is paying off, because you're seeing in some of these episodes where, you know, it starts off, no one wants to save the planet, and at the end they want to save the planet. So I do like what they're doing there. And so the Rangers go to fight off the Tronics along with Evil Roxy and Evil Blaze. And so this is where I was talking about where Evil Roxy and Blaze now look different. They have different colors. And so the Rangers go to fight them off. And they defeat not only the Tronics, but Roxy and Blaze for the first time. And so we see, okay, now how are they going to do this? And then before they go back to the cyber dimension, Skrull smuggles some more Morph-X because you can't go without more Morph-X. So I guess that's a thing. And so the Rangers then go take on the big Gigadron of the week, which is the K's guy. And they defeated him in 1 minute, just like some of the stuff we saw in WWE. That's for a different topic. And then we go back to the cyber dimension, and so Roxy and Blaze are back to being evil because, like I was saying earlier, Skrull has copies of Evil Roxy and Evil Blaze along with their memory bank. And so if Roxy and Blaze are destroyed, Skrull can go back to the cyber dimension and make new clones. And so I do like the fact that as we're going to see more of the monster of the week not only being destroyed, but we're seeing Roxy and Blaze being destroyed over and over and over again. And so it kind of reminds me of like Jesse and James from Pokemon. Like, you know how every episode we got Jesse and James, they would do something, they would try to take Pokemon and whatnot, and then Ash and his friends would then eventually beat up Jesse and James, and then they go blasting off again, and then the next episode they'd come back. I like the way that they're doing this. I like it. And so then we see at the end, we see the beach is all cleaned up from the mess. And so we see, you know, Ben and Betty, you know, doing their usual comedy where they put glue on themselves. I really want to know how in the world someone would mix up glue for sunscreen. That would be interesting if that ever happened in real life. Then real Roxy and Blaze hear that they've been copied. And so I do like the fact that now we're going to see more of Roxy and Blaze, you know, doing their thing as humans. And then for the evil side, we're going to see in another scene, the evil Roxy and Blaze doing another thing. So this is where it's going to be interesting, because I want to see in the end if real Roxy and Blaze ever go fight evil Roxy and Blaze. You know, that would be an interesting thing. And if the rumors are true that we're getting the Green Hippo Ranger and the Black Puma Ranger, I would really want to see that. You know, that would be something interesting to see at the end. And so that is the episode. Now, overall, what do I think of today's episode? Overall, I really like what they're doing. I really like the fact that they had a little bit more progression in this one than they did the first one. In the first one, we really just got back into what we were doing in season 1. What today's episode did was it really covered a lot of things. It really had one story here, you know, your main story where they're trying to save the sea animals and they're trying to clean up the beach and whatnot. But what you also saw was we saw Evil Roxy and Blaze being copied. And so what it seemed like is we had two stories in one episode filled with 30 minutes of packed action and a lot of storyline. I really like what they did with today's episode, and it really, to me, feels like they put 2 episodes into 1 episode, which I'm not going to complain about because that's really cool. Overall, if I had to rank this, I would give this episode a 4.25, which is like an 85 out of 100. So that's pretty much what I would give this episode. It's not really a 4.5. But what I would say is that it's really, really close to it. It's definitely better than last episode. Last episode, I gave it a 4 out of 5. So I would probably give this episode a 4.25 out of 5 thumbs up. So if you made it all the way to the end of this episode, I want to know, what did you think of today's episode? And if you liked this video, make sure to give it a like. And until next time, I'm Andrew Michael, and thank you for watching today's video. Thumbs up.